Inside Gaming is sponsored by ExpressVPN. They're the fastest VPN we've ever used. Check them out at expressvpn.com/inside.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Inside Gaming Daily for Wednesday. Let's have Patrick come for Black Friday and for shopping. He loves those. Ooh, shopping, get in, we're going gaming. That wonderful time of year when we crowd into stores and we get in fights over the last remaining Tickle Me Elmo. Oh yeah,
Furby.
that happened, didn't it?
RIP to the fight compilations this year. I have not seen any.
Oh, I know.
If it's any consolation, I do not think COVID will stop SantaCon.
Yeah, Black Friday kicks off, of course, the holiday shopping season. That's the biggest sales period of the year in the video game industry as people buy gifts for themselves and loved ones. And yeah, it's some insane percentage of how, like, they do most of their business this time of year.
Oh yeah. This year is especially busy because the new next-gen consoles are finally here. So how did they do? Well, we don't have comprehensive numbers yet, but there are a few news items out there that indicate that the PS5 has jumped out to an early lead on its rivals, the Series X and S.
First, let's check out the UK, where they had a huge month of console sales in the 4 weeks that ended on November 28th. Nearly 900,000 consoles overall were sold in the UK. That's according to GfK market data.
That's a lot. That seems like a lot.
It's a decent amount, yeah.
And we don't have a breakdown for how much each console sold out of that nearly 900,000, but GfK reported that the PS5 was the champ. It was the top-selling console for the month, dethroning the Switch, which slipped to second place for just the third time in 2 years. I mean, it was competing against old consoles at that point, but still, that's pretty nice.
So smart to position it like checkerboarded to the standard console releases.
Well, I don't know if it was smart. It was just the Wii U was also such a disaster. They wanted to move on as quickly as possible.
That's true. Respect. But the Switch did do well, though. Its hardware sales were up 96% compared to the previous 4-week period, and overall Switch sales in the UK were up more than 63% over the last year. So Nintendo's not exactly weeping over there.
They're fine.
For loss of sales.
They're weeping that somebody... no, I'm not... My brain.
No, that was good.
And just imagine, you can imagine what I was going to say, and it was
really funny.
They're weeping that someone thought about playing Smash Melee online.
That's essentially where I was going. That is basically where I was going.
That's good.
But that also means that the Series X and S came in third to a console that has been out for almost 4 years. Not great. Speaking of countries, we have some sort of numbers for the Series X and S didn't do much better in Japan. According to Famitsu, the PlayStation 5 sold more than 118,000 units in its first 4 days there, far ahead of the Xbox Series X and S, which sold a bit over 20,500 units in their first 6 days.
But Japan, a bit of a different story, considering that the Xbox has never been a big seller over there, although Microsoft has identified the country as an area where it wants to grow. They certainly have their work cut out for them. The UK, on the other hand, traditionally has been a much bigger market for the Xbox, so these sales rankings, not a good sign for the Series X.
Anyway, so why did the Xbox not sell as well as the PS5 in the UK? Well, one of the knocks on the Series X is that it does not have a big exclusive that might entice people to buy it over a PS5. Pretty much the same issue that plagued the Xbox One.
The PS5, on the other hand, launched with Spider-Man Miles Morales, and it entered the UK charts at number 4. Its other big exclusive, the Demon's Souls remake, debuted at number 16.
As for who has sold more consoles overall, the folks at VG Charts have an estimate. Should probably be taken with a grain of salt because they have a Z instead of an S in charts, so that's
not very professional.
Natural.
I think that's cool.
We're not good enough to avoid reporting their numbers, so with all that said, they estimate that Sony has currently sold about 2.5 million PS5s, compared with the Series X and the S combined, nearly 1.6 million units. So if those are even close to being accurate, that's a pretty significant gap already.
Some would say almost double.
Some would say that. Of course, you can argue that supply issues have affected the sales of the Xbox Series X and S, which is true, but that's also the case with the PS5. The fact is that there aren't enough of either to go around. We'll talk more about next-gen shortages in just a second, but first, let's talk about something even more important than video games. Looking good, baby. And the way you dress has a big impact on how you look, which is where our sponsor, Cuts Clothing, comes in.
Today's episode of Inside Gaming Daily is brought to you by Cuts. For better or for worse, 2020 has kicked off the work-from-home era. Everybody's asking one big question: what are we supposed to wear? You're not gonna wear a suit to a Zoom meeting, right? But also, like, don't probably wear sweatpants? I don't know. That feels weird too, right? Well, Cuts Clothing is here to answer that question for you. Cuts Clothing is the perfect solution to your work from home wardrobe confusion. It is the best in the world at making technical apparel for the sport of business. They got t-shirts, polos, and hoodies with enough quality and style to wear in the office, on a date, anywhere in between. You don't have to choose between a classic look and a modern feel. In 2016, Stephen Borelli was struggling to find the perfect t-shirt. He wanted something that had enough quality to be worn professionally at work, yet enough style for a night out. Everywhere he looked, nothing was fitting the bill, so he took matters into his own hands. The result was a product you could be proud to wear anytime, anywhere, without sacrificing comfort, fit, fabric, and function. Cuts started out in 2016 by making what GQ calls the only shirt worth wearing. It's got an athletic, tailored-looking fit that's perfect for work, a date, everything in between. Their custom-engineered, wrinkle-free Pika Pro fabric can only be described as buttery soft. Shopping by Cut makes it so easy to find your perfect shirt. It's got a great mix of long sleeves, short sleeves, collars, cuts, and colors, which will have you ready for any situation. Cuts is loved by your favorite athletes, entrepreneurs, even podcast hosts. It seems like everybody's wearing Cuts these days. You can get 15% off your first order by going to cutsclothing.com/inside. That is cutsclothing.com/inside for 15% off the only shirt worth wearing. Thank you, Cuts, for sponsoring today's show.
Okay, back to our story about next-gen consoles. As you are most definitely aware, they're hard to come by these days. And since the consoles are in short supply, that has, of course, led to scalpers snapping them up through the use of bots and then, of course, reselling them at a nice markup because they're just trying to put food on the table, guys.
That's right.
They're not doing this for fun. They're
You're
doing
actually
it
the
to
It's
feed
not
their
my
families.
fault.
For wanting one yourself.
And sorry that scalpers are so virile and so fertile that they have 25 kids apiece, and
Yeah.
they need to sell consoles at $2,000 apiece.
You're the one who wants a luxury item, not them. They just want to make money off luxury
Oh,
items.
sorry, you
Off a
can't get
luxury
your
item.
toy? I'm actually trying to make a Christmas good for a baby, okay?
Well, we have some good news on that front. One retailer is fighting back against scalpers. We reported recently that resellers in the UK had apparently successfully placed more than 1,000 orders for Series X's and PS5s. They did so through an online retailer called Very.
Well, after Sky News contacted Very to ask them about the purchases, the retailer said they canceled the orders. It is not clear if they did so after all of the negative attention, but regardless, they did.
A spokesperson for Very told Sky News, as a result of a technical error, some people were able to place orders for PS5 and Xbox Series X consoles for a short time on Sunday. So yeah, take that, scalpers. Apparently, though, kind of a bummer, some legit customers also had their orders canceled. So that, God, I hate to be that.
Like, did they just not have any, and for some reason they went live?
Maybe.
These items are not on sale, and affected customers have received notice that the orders have been canceled.
So maybe they weren't trying to fight scalpers. Maybe
So
they
it
just
wasn't.
made
It
a
wasn't really
screw up.
retaliation. It was just a gross technical error.
They're just
Well,
idiots.
then I regret to
Yeah.
inform you, Very, the retail chain, that we cannot award you the Inside Gaming Medal of Bravery.
Sorry.
Yes.
Hopefully we'll see some retailers crack down on suspicious purchases, because all of the botting has made the new consoles even scarcer than normal. But it's impossible for humans to compete with bots, and surely there have to be measures that retailers can take to combat this.
All of the stuff Amazon can do, all of their capabilities, like they're sending rockets to Mars and they can't somehow stop somebody from ordering 100 PS5s with a bot.
Anyway, while we're on the subject of online sales and terrible big companies, you might remember that Amazon had an issue of its own when it came to PS5s. There were some major problems with deliveries, with some customers getting toys, cat food, or sometimes nothing at all instead of their new console. Well, I would wager not nothing. They got a lesson. Sounds like some stealing might have been going on.
Now Amazon says they're going to make it right, offering affected customers a replacement PS5 for the orders they didn't receive. Where are these replacement PS5s coming from, though?
Yeah.
Lots of customers recently got emails from Amazon with the offer of a new PS5. UK resident Anthony Dickens was one of the customers. Come on.
It's the most UK resident I've ever heard.
I know.
So he was one of the customers who got ripped off. A few weeks ago, he tweeted a picture of his delivery box that was supposed to have a PS5 inside, but instead he got a Nerf gun, which is
that's hours of fun.
Yeah.
He said,
That's
my
a great time.
great-grandfather didn't write all those novels for me to get a Nerf gun instead
right.
of a PS5.
Maybe Amazon was trying to teach him a lesson, saying, hey, instead of all these games, why don't you get the hell outside?
Here's a stick and string. We used to play with that for hours.
Yeah.
Oh, true. Yeah, you tie up your friend and then beat the shit out of them with the stick.
That is all the stories that, like, my dad has.
Yeah,
It's just
yeah.
like, oh, when I was a kid, and then just some horrific nightmare story.
It's all Stand By Me.
And they remember it so fondly.
Yes,
too.
vividly. And then if you ever say like, that's kind of messed up, isn't it? It's like, nah.
Happily, though, Amazon offered Mr. Dickens a new PS5. He tweeted a shot of the email he received where Amazon gave him a deadline of this Saturday to accept the offer. So get on it, Dickens.
The email went on to say, please note that this offer is solely for the purpose of replacing the PlayStation 5 that you ordered. It cannot be transferred to another customer and cannot be used to purchase additional units of the PlayStation 5. In other words, don't scalp, you scumbag, Anthony.
You British.
He's like, I got a Nerf gun. I'm armed to the teeth if somebody has a problem with it.
He's
I
like
wonder
one
if
of
they
those
let him keep the
adults
Nerf
that's
gun.
like, all they want to do is have Nerf battles.
A Nerf gun, I assume, in the UK is like an AR-15 over here.
One of our bobbies was blinded with a foam dart last night. We're looking for the culprit. Description is 4'6",
No teeth.
freckled,
Crutch. Recently feasted on goose for Christmas.
brimming with gruel.
We have contacted 3 ghosts to visit him over the next 3 nights to make him feel bad and turn himself in.
We've checked all the coal mines, but none of their 12-year-olds match the description.
This foreman is very, very worried about him and his profit.
Welcome to Inside Gaming. I'm Brian. It is the weekend roundup. Now, both next-gen consoles are here, and you know what that means. Time for a console battle. Oh yeah, which one runs which game the best? It's the best time of the year. All right, so let's get it kicked off. The YouTube channel NX Gamer did